into an involved in Nexium as DOS. And she has been branded with the initials ceremony at Mac's house under Mac's supervision. In an interview with the New York Times, Mac took responsibility for having introduced the branding rituals in the DOS program. Some women were branded with Mac's initials AM and additional with Ranieri's initials KR. Shit. This is what I said, for those who defended her saying that she was brainwashed into this, no, she was not brainwashed. She is the one who did some of this shit. Branding. She had her name carved into other women's bodies. Like they're fucking cattle. She is a very disturbing individual. Mac was arrested in Brooklyn by the FBI on April 20th, 2018 on charges of sex trafficking conspiracy, and forced labor conspiracy. During her arraignment proceedings, prosecutors also accused of her entering a sham marriage with Nikki Klein to help Klein with her circumstances in the U.S. immigration laws. According to prosecutors, after she recruited women to join the organization, she used tactics such as blackmail to force them into engaging sexual activities with Ranieri against their wishes and enslaved them to do mental tasks, for which Ranieri alleged paid Mac, and Mac is said to be second in command of Nexium after Ranieri. On April 24th, 2018, Mac was released on a $5 million bond and held under house arrest under the custody of her parents in California. She was charged for recruiting women into DOS, or the Vow, a sex cult program of Nexium that has presented itself as a women's self-help group. If convicted of all charges, Mac and Ranieri will each be imprisoned to the minimum of 15 years. In late May, interview hosting the A&E special on Cults of Nexium, journalist Elizabeth Vargas stated that Mac is in negotiating a plea deal. In March 2019, it was revealed in court that Mac and other defendants in the case were in active plea negotiations. Ranieri appeared in court, pled not guilty for pornography charges related to the case. On April 8th, 2019, Mac pled guilty for racketeering conspiracy and racketeering charges and is scheduled to be sentenced in September 2019. The conviction was postponed in court to grant suffocate time to conduct a pre-sentencing investigation. In 2019, Catherine Oxenberg produced a Lifetime television movie called Escaping Nexium, A Mother's Fight to Save Her Daughter, with actress Sarah Fletcher playing Allison Mack. I have not seen that movie. I was looking for that movie because I kind of wanted to see it, and I can't find that movie on Lifetime on Demand, and Lifetime's not playing it again, so fuck. So, I might find it on YouTube, I don't know. So I had to read all that crazy stuff. I really wanted to get it into, stuff. So anyway, I'm going to be wrapping up the podcast pretty soon, so, what do I think? I read a lot of information on Keith Raniere, Allison Mack, talked about the Joker movie, talked about Batwoman. So, it bothers me that an actress I really liked kind of is revealed to be a psychopath. Especially to a show I grew up watching and just thinking how great it is, and now I really can't watch it because I look at it like childhood ruined. Literally ruined by this. It saddens me in a way, because Allison Mack had so much talent. She was a very talented actress, very likable on screen, and you rooted for her and Ollie to make it through Smallville and reunite. And they had a kid, and now you can't really know what happened to them because, they ruined it. This whole case, I kind of see the point of people saying that she was brainwashed. She didn't know what she was doing. I do agree to some certain points, because here's the thing. I don't know Allison Mack the person. I just know Allison Mack, the TV actress. I feel horrified for her and the women that she had involvement of branding. There is no way that she can ever recover her career and her life from doing this. She's forever infamous for doing what she did. People won't remember her for Smallville. They just will remember her as the chick that was involved in the sex cult branding thing. Tomorrow's episode we will talk about DOS, and we will talk about the rest of the Nexium thing, and I need to put that in the title because some people will be like, it's confusing. You're talking about one thing or you're talking about a crazy cult. We will cover it. I also really want to talk about Kirsten Cook's involvement. How Allison Mack and Kirsten Cook got introduced into it. I still wish to this day that Kirsten Cook would just talk about it instead of running away from it. I would love to interview her on the podcast, and I doubt she would ever do it, but I would love to interview her, talk to her about what the fuck did you do in this cult. And I can't wait for next episode. I can't wait either. It's really weird that people won't ask her the question. I wish to God I could go to like a Comic-Con and just ask the question to her, like, even though I probably will get kicked out of it, but it'd be a question that, the elephant in the room, like, nobody will address it. They need to. She needs to really address this whole Nexium thing and just get it out of the way. I know it would be difficult, but you have to talk about it. And it's really weird how people will not interview her. Like, she's doing a new show and people are just talking about her show, talking about herself, talking about her career and all that. But it's like, address the fucking elephant in the room. Did you know what they were doing? Did you know what Allison Mack was doing? Did you know her intentions of what she was doing? Don't run away from it. Talk about it. They should interview her. She should talk about it. And did you see the clip of the Smallville panel? Of how Tom Welling just would not look at her or not really have any interactions with her? He looked really uncomfortable being there. There's a lot of things that is going on. It was really weird, like, watching him just sort of, like, sit there with, like, his arms crossed, like, not wanting anything to do with her. at the Comic-Con panel. And it's weird though how the person who's like doing the questions, the host of it, sort of just didn't ask. I would ask like, yeah, by the way, you were on Smallville. By the way, you left the show. Tell us what happened with Nexium. Yeah, I did. I did scratch my beard. It's strange though. It's like, address this, then talk about Smallville. It's a crazy thing that they never just discussed any of these questions or any of these things. Thank you. I'm sort of bothered by this. Like, I'm surprised that Allison Mack never did a TV interview, given her side of the story. Even though she, was in, So, anyway, we will talk about the DOS thing. I will discuss how it started, who started this whole thing, what led to this branding. They should really interview her. They should. They really need to discuss this situation of the show, of the whole Nexium thing, the whole thing. I would not want to hear an interview with Keith Raniere. That dude is, sketchy as can be. Let's see. We will also talk about... There's several things I really want to talk about. Nexium. One I really want to do is Scientology, but I think after the Nexium thing, I really want to do an episode talking about... Oh, thank you. There's one episode I really want to do is a cover of country music. Because I got a lot of messages from people who really like the music episodes I did. Of making fun of Scientology music to whatever music is made. I really want to talk about country music. For those who don't know, I love country music. I enjoy Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, Alan Jackson, and Montgomery Gentry. May Troy Gentry rest in peace. I really want to talk about country music because I hate the current state of country music. I really hate it. I don't like today's state of country music. So that is one episode we will cover. Because if you talk about things like Nexium, the branding that we just talked about, it is really bad. It is really usually anytime I cover, yesterday's episode I covered, I kind of felt down because it was just really depressing. Especially, talking about Crazy Colt that affected people not only mentally but physically. I mean, imagine this, these women who got these brandings are literally scarred forever. They will forever carry that for the rest of their lives. And these two are just didn't really care. But I think recently, you've seen, I don't know if anybody's seen Allison Mack, she looks fucking frail. She looks like she has not eaten a meal for days, let alone weeks. So, tomorrow's episode will talk about DOS, Nexium, all these things. So, I will see you all tomorrow. Final thoughts are... I really don't have one.